With over 873 million small farmers relying on healthy soil to grow the food we eat, the stakes have never been higher. A groundbreaking project called ARCAFIM is stepping in with innovative financial support to help farmers protect and improve their soil, ensuring more resilient food production in the face of climate change. Can these efforts be the key to sustaining our food systems and fighting climate challenges? Well, Praveena Sridhar, Chief Technical Officer of Save Soil, joins us to establish just that. Good evening, Praveena. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Let's start with soil. How important is soil?
Good evening. I think you must be sitting in a studio which must be few floors above the ground. From the background of yours, I see that. Any building doesn't stand by itself. You need foundations to be extremely strong. Soil is that foundation based on which you get your food security, you have clean water, you have good biodiversity. It also affects the air quality. That's how important soils are.
And then to the role of small farmers in the food security, because we've heard that theirs is a very pivotal role in providing food for communities or local communities. Now, we understand that they struggle with good quality soil. Talk us through this.
So, of the entire food production that happens across the world, 80% of the farmers who are producing food are small and marginal farmers. And they produce at least, I think, over 30% of the food that we consume. And these are people who have very little risk appetite because they are, manning lands with a few hectares or maybe even less than a hectare in some of the parts of the world. And they don't have the ability to face a crop failure, or even if a crop does well and there is a glut and the prices go down, they can't face it. So there is no financial ability for these people to take care of, attend to events like climate shocks, like unforecasted floods or drought, change in temperatures. So that's how perilous they are. And if you have healthy soils, the role of soils is that they actually make you climate proofed in many ways, because the way soils act are, they become intelligent beings. The minute you bring enough organic matter into the soil, the Safe Soil movement asks for policies to facilitate to have at least 3 to 6% of organic matter in the soils. When you do that, by incentivizing farmers, it so happens that the soils become intelligent enough to respond during drought, to give water from whatever it has stored in the lands, and when it's excess floods, to drink up all the water so that your crops don't fail. So in a way, we are actually building climate resilience mechanism by taking care of soils and making them healthy and alive.
Then to ARCAFIM's role in helping farmers secure financial support. Just talk us through this.
I'm not a person who's working with IFAD or other institutions that are put together, together, the banks and the African banks. But from the look of what they have done until now, what we see is that ARCAFIM is bringing two specific supports to farmers. One is financial loan. When you are moving into healthy soil management practices, you call them either sustainable soil management practices or regenerative practices, you need two kinds of support. You need to change your behavior. When you change your behavior with land, it's to do with change in equipments, change in the way you farm, the amount of labor you put into it, all of it changes. And that usually requires a certain amount of upfront investment. So ARCAFIM is providing this money to farmers through loans. The second bit, which is very important to farmers, that is really not spoken about a lot, is technical assistance. To handhold them when they are doing something that is not known to them until now. Just like how teachers handhold us during our early ages in kindergarten, we don't know the alphabets. There is somebody sitting with you, helping you through the process to ensure that you learn and you go ahead. You need people to facilitate this learning and to be able to respond to the changes that happen to the land as you change habits, because the land will behave differently than it used to behave before when you're doing conventional practices. And this is so these are the two things that ARCAFIM is providing. And I think the second part is a lot more important, as much as rather more, I would say both are equally important bits, and they're providing both together. So there's a possibility, even a small farmer who doesn't have financial risk appetite can also transition and make his farm resilient and also provide better outputs, therefore better income.
I want to delve deeper into the technical know-how and the hand-holding. When we speak of regenerative farming, can you just talk us through the techniques here, because this specifically helps with reducing soil disturbances?
It's very simple. The fundamental foundations of regenerative agriculture is that you do not disturb the soil. Like you kind of, when you plow the soil, you disturb it, you kind of expose the life below it, and it kind of dies, and therefore it's no more supports the soil life, right? So there is no tilling is one part to it. And another bit is when you're farming, what you're doing is you're harvesting nutrients out of soil. All the nutrition that you get in food comes from soil. When you withdraw it, and you're going to continue to withdraw it, how do you think the crops that are 10th crop or the 20th crop, the 100th crop, the land is going to have the same nutrition as the first crop? So you need to put it back. So it's called, you put it back through techniques like crop rotation, cover cropping, or integrating your plant and animal litter from whatever stocks are left over from your grains, and animal manure, right? These are the methods through which, technologies through which you plow back the nutrition that you harvest. At the same time, this also builds soils, health, and resilience.
Praveena, thank you very much for your time this evening. That was Praveena Sridhar, Chief Technical Officer of Save Soil.